My old friend, Low Self Esteem, has reared his ugly head. I don't know how many of you guys noticed about me, but I grew up with really low self-esteem, and I finally got to a point a couple years ago where I felt good about who I was. I felt, confident. I felt, I felt attracted, because my low self-confidence doesn't come from anything else other than just the fact that I've always thought I was kind of ugly. And I've been told otherwise by several people, but things recently have kind of reinforced the fact that I might just not be a good looking guy. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna sit here and cry about it, because there are people who are way, way worse off than I am. And I, tend to do pretty well, with the opposite sex. So I'm not really that worried about it. But it's still this thing where I hate this feeling, where you don't feel like you're good enough, or you feel like you're less than other people, or you feel like there's something that's affecting your life that you cannot control. And there's nothing you can do. And so I know for years I did this thing where I try to overcompensate by being really nice to everybody, thinking that, if I'm really nice, they'll overlook my face, which doesn't really happen. People love confidence. And so if you ooze confidence, you're gonna have a better chance of winning those people over than being really nice to them. And it took me a while to learn that lesson, but I learned it. And I even have days now where I still look in the mirror and I feel good about who I am. I feel good. I'm like, man, you're actually kind of good looking. But I have a lot of other days where it's just not working. It's just like, ugh, dang. It's just, I have my days. And I think that in turn has made me a little bit shallow to a degree, where I do find myself judging other people at times, because I'm like, oh, you don't look like this, And I think that's partly because I'm insecure to a degree of what I look like. Like, I've been accused before of wearing like tight t-shirts because I'm trying to show off. And I'm not, but the fact is, when I wear the other shirts that don't show off, it doesn't feel right. And I don't know if that's like a self-conscious thing where my inner being is saying, hey man, you should wear that shirt so the ladies like it, or so somebody can give you a compliment, or actually been working out. I don't try to seek that thing out. I never really fish for compliments, but I think that subconsciously on a deeper level, I do like that attention. And like I said, I've had some things happen recently where I'm just back to questioning, am I really a good looking person, or is there something wrong with me that is scaring people away? And I know that sounds so stupid and insane, but that's the kind of thing that low self-esteem does to your head. It really, really messes with you. It really screws up logical thought. And so I've been working, just kind of talking to myself out loud, and kind of talking to other friends to combat these thoughts. They're intrusive, they're bad, and you don't want to let them grow. You don't want to feed them. Like when you start to have thoughts where you feel like you're ugly, you're nasty, you're fat, you're gross, and they'll start hitting you. You have to fight them. You have to. Because you let those thoughts win, you're going to lose. You're going to sink into a depression, and no one wants that. Now, I've never been depressed because I tend to just kind of shift my focus. When I start thinking that way, I'm like, you know what? No, it's not true. No, you know what I'm saying? Like I've had girlfriends, I've had other relationships, I've had really good friends. I am not a homunculus. I am not terrible. I know that, I know it. And I've had people on the internet, which I know sounds really lame, but people on the internet say, man, you're good looking, man, you're handsome, and yeah, people tell me that stuff. So I hear it and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, I can swallow that. I believe that, and that feeds me to a degree. But then I have other days when people say that stuff and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I want to remain humble. I don't want to ever wake up one day and go, man, you are sexy. I don't want to be in love with myself, because that's not attractive either. So where do you reach this middle ground where you're just like, you know what? I'm moderately attractive and that's okay. And how do you maintain that all the time? These are questions I ask myself all the time. I would love to help people out with just feeling better about themselves. So let's just do an exercise together where we just say, hey, you're okay. You are good. You are awesome. Someone finds you attractive. Someone loves you. They may not be here now, but they'll be here soon because you deserve it. I have to remind myself of that every day. It's not easy. It's really not. Especially when you grew up being made fun of and having people say things like, okay, I remember I was really self-conscious at a time in my life about being black. And not being black, but being my color black, because I was the darker of some of my friends, so they would make fun of me, sometimes call me Count Chocula and stuff like that, and I would get really mad, and I would like just want to be anything but this color. I used to always say, man, I wish I was light skinned. But now that I've reached this point, this apex, where I feel confident in who I am, I don't want to be anything else. You know, I think I would look weird if I was light skinned anyway. You know, but not that I don't look weird now, but you know what I'm saying. I've learned to finally be comfortable in that skin, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I just think you need to find things about yourself that you love and you enjoy and that you can expound upon and just push them to the forefront. Like, I like that I'm funny, I like my smile, I used to like my hair, but I kind of like my non-hair now. Like, I kind of like the look works for me now. So I just try to find those things and accentuate them, or try to, you know, push them forward as much as I can. That's why I work out, because I want to make sure that people know, like, hey, he's a healthy, good-looking guy. You know, he take care of himself. He's gonna take care of me. That's the kind of thing you want to put forth. You want to put forth a positive attitude, a positive image, and if you can convince yourself of that, then you can convince other people. So that's pretty much all I have to say. This is kind of therapy for me too, because like I said, it has some things happen where it just boggles my mind. Like, let me give you an example. Now, this isn't my story, it's someone else's story. But I have a friend who went on a date, and this girl that he met was all about him. Like, she was like, oh my God, you are so amazing. You're so cute, blah, blah, blah. And it went on a date. And the girl proceeded on that date to ignore him, not talk to him, not look at him in his eyes, watch TV the entire time. Like, I guess there was a TV up in the corner of some like sports game, and she was watching the sports game, but she wouldn't look at him. And it like blew his mind that she was the one who initiated this date and said, hey, you gotta take me out. But then when they actually got to the date, she wouldn't even look him in the eye. It made him feel like he was complete trash. It made him feel like he was an ugly monster that she couldn't even bear to look at. That kind of thing can damage a person's soul. So if you're that kind of person, be careful with what you do. Be careful with who you're around, because you can hurt a lot of people in very serious ways if you're not careful. So, I'm not going to do ever use teleport. I'm just going to leave. But seriously, guys, take care of yourselves and the people around you, because they do have big effects on you, how you feel, and what you think. Okay, I'll disappear. Ever use teleport. Self-confidence is a very, very important thing. You need to find it. I don't have a question for you, but I just want to say, hey, you're okay.